paranormal, Para-X. The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host and their guests do not necessarily reflect those of Para-X, its affiliates, or its sponsors.
Supernatural. Magic. Ghosts. UFOs. Bigfoot. Extraterrestrial. Psychic energy.
The Calling.
And good evening, everyone. Another Wednesday night, and actually really nice. Little bit of overcast, but it was like around almost 60 today, so it was pretty sweet. Kimberly, how are you tonight, Miss Juarez?
I am good, Jerry. As a matter of fact, Sunday was like the best day ever.
It was
so warm and so nice. I just love these times, of the year when everything's all coming up, blooming and everything. It's so nice. How are you, Jerry?
I'm not too bad. It's I had the test done, and hopefully they'll tell me soon if I have the dreaded coronavirus. But for some reason my histoplasmosis is really kicking up a storm.
Yeah, I think it's the weather, though, Jerry.
It is. I have nasty allergies, and they're really kicking up this year. So it's pretty much, Wasika's fault. I don't know why, but we'll just claim it as their fault.
You were here in Wasika and you didn't tell me?
I was the one coughing at your back window.
Oh, gosh.
That's gross. So our guest tonight, do you know who she is, Kimberly?
Yes, I do. I really do.
Who is she?
So,
no.
It's Heidi.
It's Heidi.
Hi.
Oh, my gosh. So, Heidi Steffens, how are you tonight?
I'm so good and so excited to be here with you guys tonight. So thanks for asking me to be on your show.
Oh, of course. Well, this is pretty cool. Everybody, I'm sure, out there knows who Heidi is. Heidi is one of the hosts of The Gathering. The Gathering. There you go. And she also is a squatcher.
Yes.
And Kimberly is a squatcher, so 2/3 of the program is going to be Bigfoot, I guess, maybe, huh?
I don't know about that. We'll see. See where we end up.
There's a lot. I mean, she's got so much experience behind her, so it's not just squatching. She's done quite a few things.
Squatching is one of the newer things that I've been involved in, so I don't have as much experience with that as other things. So,
Gotcha.
It's fun, and I do enjoy it.
Yeah. Were you out there when Stephanie got her foot caught inside of the muck?
Which time? I was there when she did the slow motion fall, which was really interesting. I've never quite seen one of those live and in person. It took her like 10 seconds to fall over, and we had snow up to our almost to our bums, and it was just the two of us out there, and it was so deep, and we were so exhausted by the time we were coming back to the cars that she couldn't even hold herself up anymore, and she started to fall, and I turned around and was able to watch her continue to fall. It was hysterical. She was fine. Obviously, you're not going to get hurt if it takes you 10 seconds to fall. So,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
it was funny because I seen the pictures of it, and as you guys are taking like the sports photos of it, it's like every click she was only fell about 3 inches. Yeah. So yeah, it's
it fell slow enough that we could take a lot of pictures of it. So yeah.
And she never hurt herself whatsoever. So I know that she probably did a lot of giggling and just laid there for a moment or two because
for a while.
That's just the way Steph is. Yeah,
I thought I might have to go over and pick her up and throw her across my back or something to get her out of there, because she just laid there for a while. I'm like, well, Steph, we got to keep moving. So yeah,
she's sort of like one of those fainting goats.
Well, they fell a lot faster than she did. So
That's funny. That's funny. So, okay, so now you have your My Spirit experience is your business and stuff, and your website is myspiritexperience.com. So now with everything that's going on, I've talked with Bobby Sullivan and my friend Valentina Lomborg down in Florida and everything, and they said that their business has been hit really hard of what they do. Now you're starting to use the internet a little bit more on contacting your clients and stuff like that too, correct?
Yeah, I mean, we all have to adapt right now. This is a really tough time for everybody, and so we're all looking at ways to keep connected with people. And because a lot of people are feeling very alone, very isolated, scared, panicked, and so it's really important right now that we stay connected with people in any way that we can. I went over to a friend's house this past weekend, and I stood out in the backyard, and she stood in her entryway of her house, and we had a conversation because I knew she was having a tough time of it. And so I went over there and, following the rules and not getting close, but had a in-person, conversation because I know she lives alone and no pets or anything. And so I felt really bad, and I'm like, I got to get over there and connect. So any way that we can stay connected with people right now to get through this, because a lot of people are hurting, a lot of people are sick, a lot of people are struggling, any way that we can stay connected. So I have tried to adapt some of my business to allow for connecting visually, because it's not quite the same over the phone. I can do readings over the phone and consultations over the phone, and that's great. But I have tried to adapt some of my other offerings to be free online, like meditations, and also through video, so that we can see each other and connect with each other, so we don't feel maybe so isolated.
Gotcha. Kim, did you have a question before I jump in? Because I've got a bunch of them.
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay.
I just think her website, if you guys ever, myspiritexperience.com, I think it is, right, Heidi? And I mean, they're very impressive. Very, very impressive.
Could you put that link in the chat room, Kimberly?
Yeah, if I can get it, I'll get it going. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So now with the stuff that you do and everything, you do like past life regressions and stuff like that. Do you do that over internet also too? I mean, via Skype or something, or Zoom?
With some of those, I can do. I mean, certainly I can do over, video. I have GoToMeeting now, or Skype, whatever anybody prefers. It's sometimes easier just to do through the phone, because a lot of times when I work with someone, I ask them to lay down and close their eyes. So if we're doing a video session, sometimes that makes people a little self-conscious if they know they're being watched while they're laying in their bedroom. So, and it sounds creepy now that I say it out loud. Actually, it sounds really disturbing. So, for the most part, we use the phone for doing sessions. I do a lot of distance Reiki with people, and so we'll set up a session and we'll call, we'll talk on the phone, and they lay in their bed or on the couch or whatever and close their eyes, and we do whatever it is that we need to do for the session that is part of the healing process. But most of the time with that, it's over the phone, because it's just, like I said, they're going to have their eyes closed anyway. So, for the most part, it doesn't make any sense to have visual. But for like the group meditations or classes, I have a class that I'm running on Thursday nights right now. And so we've just switched it to the video conference, and it works great. You can see everybody lined up like the Brady Bunch on the screen, and we can do the class that way. It works really great, and we still feel connected.
That's excellent. Good job. Because I know a lot of people, especially people that, well, this is probably stupid to say it like this, but you got some that are just non-believers, or they don't, believe in some of the stuff that you do, I do, Kimberly does, and stuff like that, and they stay away from it all. So, but when you've got people that are into it and they go to places like Arapalooza and stuff like that and everything, it's really a heartbreaker if they can't make that connection with their person that helps them in their life. So hats off to you to, stick with it and make sure that people are able to get their help or to get their bodies feeling good again in doing what you do. So that's awesome. I'm really glad that that you found a way to reach out to people.
Yeah, it's one of those things that, and we have to, I think this is a challenging time for a lot of businesses, and we need to learn how to adapt as well. Everyone is learning how to adapt on a personal level, but so many people are having to learn how to adapt on a professional level as well. And this is a challenge for myself, is how do I shift so that I can continue to do what I love to do, because this is an unfortunate time for a lot of businesses that they will not continue. They can't afford to. So I want to do what I can so that I can continue doing this for forever. As far as I'm concerned, I love doing what I do. And, it's just part of the process of adapting.
Awesome. So now some of the things that you have done in the past, one thing I've always been interested in, and I heard a little bit of it when you guys were talking on The Gathering, and that's when you did like a little UFO thing in Now Then, I think it was.
Yeah, we were in that area. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So did you find anything? I never did get the whole lowdown on that.
Well, it was a really interesting case, and I don't normally take UFO cases, but this one landed on my doorstep, and I thought I just felt compelled that this was one that we needed to take the case. And it ended up being so wild. There were so many weird things that were happening involving Sasquatch, and then the UFOs, and then paranormal activity. So it was like this case that just had all these crazy pieces and parts to it. We didn't have any UFO encounters, and as far as I know, she hasn't had any since we were there, which is good, because what had happened really freaked her out. Now, her experiences with UFOs she had 3 or 4 experiences with UFOs that involved missing time, and that happened over the course of her whole life. So some of these experiences are really spaced out, decades apart. So I couldn't expect, we show up one night and we're going to have this amazing UFO experience, because, what are the odds, right? So we went there just, wondering what we would find, and we ended up finding quite a bit of paranormal activity, and that was interesting. We got some crazy EVPs, some that were swearing like sailors at us, so that was interesting, and did not want us there. Made it quite clear that we should leave. We had some interesting, we had a Geiger counter, and we had some hits with the Geiger counter. In the only place that we got any kind of reading was in the spot that she stood when she went outside to look straight up and see the UFO on the night that she had her last experience. And that was the only location out of everywhere that we took the Geiger counter that had any kind of hit. So I thought that was kind of interesting. But what was really interesting about that case is when I first talked to her on the phone, we had emailed back and forth a few times just to kind of, exchange, hey, what's happening? Here's how we work. Let's set up a time to talk. So we finally set up a time to talk. And while I was on the phone with her, first of all, we had horrible connections. We weren't able to keep a phone connection longer than a few minutes. And while we were talking, I kept seeing something moving outside the window. I have curtains that were mostly closed because it had been daytime and the sun was coming in. But my dog had popped them open in the middle, so he had poked his head through to look out the window. So there was a gap of a couple of inches, and you could see outside. Now, you can't see a lot because it's only a couple inches and I'm sitting across the room, so it's really hard to see what you're looking at. But while I was sitting there on the phone, I saw something go past the window that was tall and hairy and humanoid type figure. And I thought, you've got to be kidding me. Like, you can't even tell me. And I'm seeing this while I'm talking to her, and I thought, I can't even, and I was talking with Tim, and he was trying to look out the window, and he's like, I don't see anything. Well, over the course of, a few weeks, he saw the same figure, as well as his son Keegan saw the same figure. And Keegan didn't even know that we had seen it or talked about it or anything. So he just said, oh my gosh, I saw, and then what he told us was the exact same thing that I had seen. So I thought that was interesting, because how many times have you heard in a UFO case where it may also have a relation to Bigfoot, right, Kim? We've heard that a ton of times.
Right, absolutely. That's why I was wondering, like, I mean, what are the odds to that? That is crazy,
Exactly.
and especially for his son to even see that.
And he didn't know that he wasn't even there when we talked. So it was so cool. So I thought, okay, and these sightings had happened within weeks of this initial phone call. Mm-hmm. And after we were working on the case, when we were done and we kind of wrapped up the case, no more sightings.
Wow.
Yeah. Right?
Wow, that is nuts.
Yeah. It was super cool. So before that, I knew of the relation between, Bigfoot and UFO, or at least that people were talking about it. Some people are totally on board with it. Some people don't know. Some people are like, absolutely not. That made me think about it. Seriously, I was really thinking about it after that, because before I was like, I don't know, I guess maybe.
Yeah, definitely.
But this was like, you got to be kidding me. They could be driving.
Are you sure it's not even?
I
Are you sure it's not because you've been out and you've been looking for Bigfoot? I mean, even the whole. I mean, well, Stephanie, I've had kind of an experience too with the whole UFO and seeing lights type of thing. But and I kind of believe in it. As to you didn't until you had your experience.
I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure, and so after that, I thought, well, what are the odds? There's no coincidence, right? It can't be.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, so I thought that was interesting. And I did hear, actually, at one point, and I think this was before the UFO case, and Tim was with me. We were standing in the backyard, and we heard a vocalization, and it was way up in a tree. It was huge. It was so loud, you could feel the vibration in your lungs, but the tree was, 40, 50 yards away. Huge, tall tree. But you could feel, that's how loud this thing was, coming from this really tall tree. And what was interesting is the movie Paranormal Bigfoot.
Yep.
I know you guys have seen it. So there's a vocalization that they play within the first, I think, 10 minutes, and it sounds almost identical to that. And it was, so I don't know what kind of Bigfoot activity might have been happening out there, but it was, it totally stopped after the UFO case.
Interesting. That's very...
Yeah.
you're going to hate me. I don't know. I mean, Paranormal Bigfoot, I hate the show, to be honest with you. I don't like it whatsoever. And when it comes to, I'm not saying I don't know what was out there, but, Paranormal Bigfoot, a lot of their stuff, they're basing it that it is Bigfoot, but yet there's no proof of it. Nobody's got a Bigfoot, a picture or a film of one yelling, and so to say that it is, that just kind of, I have a hard time believing that it is. I mean, I've seen Bigfoot. I know what he looks like. Okay. I mean, but did I hear him? No, I didn't hear him. Did he scream out or anything? No. Did he show intelligence? Yes. He put his hand up to his eyes to block it from the sun. There's intelligence. So you do have an intelligent creature. Was there UFOs around that? No. I don't know about the UFO and the Bigfoot thing. I just don't totally believe in it yet. But, Bigfoot's only been around, sure, for a few hundred years and stuff like that people, and some people even before that, have claimed it. But the big research of it all has just started not really that long ago. So it's like, we need to see first, the real stuff. And the thing that really hurts it is all the fake stuff that people are putting out about Bigfoot. I remember one person one time saying, does it matter if somebody's putting this out? It actually does, because the true researchers like yourself, Squatchers, and others, if there's a lot of junk out there that people are believing in, so then people put more and more of it in there, when's the truth ever going to come out? How are you going to find that truth? It's a needle in the haystack. You got the truth the size of a dust ball, and then you've got the haystack which is the size of the planet, with all this junk inside there that people put out there, and it's the same with UFOs. It's the same with ghosts and everything else and stuff. So, okay, go ahead, yell at me.
No, I'm not going to yell because I think everybody's, entitled to their own opinion, their own beliefs. So, and I'm not going to knock someone just for thinking something that I don't necessarily believe in or agree with. I think everybody's open to their own, and that's cool. We can all still be friends and get along. I'm still digging. I can't say for certain that the UFO Bigfoot connection is real because I can't find either one of them at this point to have any proof that I can show anybody. So, it's just my own speculation at this point, my own investigating, and I let it take me where it takes me. And right now I'm thinking, hey, they might be connected. But before I didn't think so. And so guess what? I can change my mind based on some of my experiences. So can anybody else. So I'm going to keep doing that because maybe my mind will be changed again.
I'm not trying to disprove. I'm just saying is that as in, me, I am a huge fan of Squatchers from the get-go. I've always been a fan and always will. I believe in the way that you girls get out there and you girls really look for evidence. Do I worry about you guys sometimes? Yeah. Not because there's not a man around. That's not what I'm saying. But I mean, but when it comes to certain things, it's like, how does it tie together? How can it be together? I mean, I still go back to when Alan Yerxa, him and I were doing an interview with Lauren Coleman, and he said, talked about the correlation between Bigfoot and UFOs. And I remember once he got done asking the question to Lauren rolled his eyes and looked directly at me and said, "Next question, please." And I was like, you don't believe? No, there is none. And that's certain, professionals such as yourself, Lauren Coleman. Oh, wow. Who else have we had on the show? Matt Moneymaker. We've had the other guy. What's the other guy's name? Help. I can't remember his name. Brockman. Cliff, yeah, Cliff on and stuff. Everybody's got different, things on if UFOs do, use. Now, is it possible that UFOs use the same dimension, maybe wormhole or whatever, to get through that Bigfoot does? Yes, but again, you're opening up a whole new can of worms. That if they have, first one has to prove that one's real compared to the other one. And I still don't believe that, I believe in the greens and the grays, I guess. I don't really believe in the whites. I don't believe in, I actually believe that a lot of UFOs could be just drones themselves. I mean, not our drones, but drones from outside the galaxy. I think it's rather interesting. It's pretty cool. There, I'll stop.
All I know is I'm still looking. So
that's right.
Happens.
That's right. You got to keep looking because the thing is, once somebody closes their mind on one deal, that's it. That's the thing. They don't move on from then. They've already closed it. There may be more to the story. So that's why I'm keeping everything open, but I just have a hard time believing it. But anyway, so when I'd say if we were to look back about 10, 15 years ago, would you think that you would have come this far then? And, radio show, an impending one, which we're going to talk about after the break, being on a Bigfoot team, all this stuff. Would you have thought that you would have come this far?
I didn't know what to expect 15 years ago, I guess. I look back 15 years ago and I was doing this work then, but not to the capacity that I'm able to work with people now, and I'm super grateful for that. So no, I guess I didn't expect it. I didn't expect anything. We'll say that. I didn't expect anything. What I was doing is walking my journey, and my journey was to do my own healing, my own learning on what this whole paranormal thing was all about, because it really did hold me back for so many years because of the fear that I had around it and the uncertainty that was around it. So really it was just my own healing journey in the beginning. And it was longer than 15 years ago. 15 years ago, I was starting to work with people that asked me for help because they saw that I had moved forward from where I was and wanted that same kind of healing. And so I thought, oh my gosh, yes, I wish there would have been someone to help me with this when I needed it. So yes, I will help you with this because I know how much that is, how beneficial that is. So I wouldn't have expected to be able to help as so many people that I've helped over the years, and doing the work that I've done. I'm super grateful. And I don't think I could have ever imagined doing all the things that I've done so far. It's been amazing.
So, Heidi, I just wanted to touch bases because when you were younger, you had an experience when you were younger, and you told your family. Is that what I read, that you were, and they didn't believe you? Because in my case, my family believed me. You know, so we probably had this different type of upbringing. So, tell me your experience when you were a child.
Yeah, just briefly. I mean, I would see spirits. I could feel them. You know, all of the things. I could hear them. I could hear people talking to me, and I would go to my parents, more my mom than my dad, because my dad really didn't want to have anything to do with that piece of it. He just thought I was making it up. But I went to my mom quite a bit just to tell her, hey, there's people in my room. There's this, there's that, you know, whatever it was. And it was really just, you know, you're imagining it. It's, you know, quit watching scary movies. It was pretty much dismissed because of all the reasons that I think parents do that with their kids, not knowing how to deal with it, or not believing it exists, or, you know, their own, you know, experiences. Now they have to, if they accept it in their child, they have to accept it in themselves, and they don't want to do that, or they're not ready to. So for all the reasons that, you know, parents do that, it happened to me as well. And it was just, there were so many of them. So it was terrifying. It was really scary. And,
so did you just shut down, like just through your years of like from a child to a teenage? Is that how it was, that you couldn't say anything? Or
I stopped saying anything, but it didn't shut down. I didn't want it to shut down because I knew it was real. Even if I couldn't get anybody else to tell me that they understood, I didn't doubt myself for a minute. I knew it was real. I could feel it in every fiber of my being. So I did not allow it to shut down. I just stopped talking about it. And I did a lousy job of that as I got older into my high school and college years. It was leaking out everywhere. All the things that I would see and, you know, messages and stuff, it would just, you know, so people knew, even though I thought people didn't know, but it's just, yeah. And so I didn't do a very good job of hiding it as I got older. But I was very, very shy, or considered very shy, just because I wouldn't talk to anybody, because I didn't know, you know, growing up, I didn't know if people were seeing the same things I was seeing. So I really didn't talk to a lot of people growing up. So yeah, it was,
you know,
tough.
It's kind of funny that way. I remember when I was little and certain things would happen, and if I talked about it, you know, a lot of kids that were my own age and stuff, I'm talking, you know, 6, 7 years old and stuff, were scared about it. They would tell their parents. Next thing you know, I was put as the weird kid, you know, which I still am. But anyway, it's weird that when you try to not think about it, try to stay away from it, like you were saying in a way, and how the universe kind of gets back at you by saying you will learn more, you will talk about it. It's like you will find somebody that's going to talk about it with you. You know what I mean? And then finally, that's when it breaks open, and then everybody's like, wow, I never knew this about you, and everything else. It's quite interesting on that. Myself, I mean, I don't do, you know, exactly what like you do, or Valentina Lomborg or Bobby Sullivan, or, you know, and stuff like that. I mean, you guys are like way ahead of me by that, you know, and everything, but it's quite interesting.
It's not a competition, Jerry.
No, I didn't mean it like that whatsoever. Yeah. I meant that, you know, you were able to accept it and be able to do things with it, and other people had accepted you. So you did see the question there from Steve. Have you guys used like a Connect out there or anything?
No, we haven't used a Connect. We brought other equipment out there. I don't have one, actually. I do know people that have them. I don't. I would have to borrow it to get it out there, and I haven't been brave enough to ask because I would hate for something to happen to it.
Oh my God, yeah, I know what you mean. Like Jeff on our team, he's got one, and it's like, hey Jeff, I was wondering. He says, "Don't ask me, Jerry." It's like, okay, I won't. But anyway, it's time for break, guys. So we're going to be right back in 2 minutes with Heidi Steffens. So hang tight.
Whether you're listening at home, at work, or anywhere, thanks for making Para X part of your day. Your source for everything paranormal, Para X.
You haunted by shadow people in the middle of the night?
Do you secretly love all things creepy and spooky, enjoying ghost stories and horror fiction from the best storytellers?
Do you have a true ghost experience you want to share, but no one will believe you?
If yes, listen to the professionals on What Are You Afraid of? Horror Paranormal Show, Friday nights at 9 p.m. on Para X Radio and at www.whatareyouafraidofpodcast.com.
What are you afraid of on Para X?
Our creepy and demented hosts are on call to provide you with all your spooky needs with true ghost stories, interviews, indie music, and new horror fiction. We are ready to scare you.
Para X.
In order for the light to shine so brightly, the darkness must be present. Tune in every Monday at 10 o'clock for Dark Sun Rising on the Para X Radio Network.
Hey, Stephanie.
Hey, Tommy, what's shaking?
Oh, just getting ready for this week's show. It's going to be another far-out adventure on He Said, She Said, the Cryptid Show. What happens when you get two cryptid researchers together, one from Minnesota and one from Cryptovania?
I know. It's so much fun, and it's every week, and we get to have fun and talk to different people. And
we don't always agree on everything.
We might even disagree about a thing or two. Oh, my.
One never knows. It's been known to happen before.
And that is the beauty of He Said, She Said, the Cryptid Show on Sunday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern on the Para X Radio Network.
That was money in the bank.
All right, we are back, everybody. This is Jerry with the calling, along with the one, the only Kimberly Juarez of Cat Paranormal. So now, if you've listened to our shows and you're like, I didn't get to listen to the first half, or where's the other shows at? Well, you can find them real easy. Just go to www.thecallingradioshow.com. All of our shows will be there. Tonight's show will be there probably around 5 or 6 tomorrow. Also, too, you can go to our YouTube channel, The Calling Radio Show, and take a look, because we put them in both places. I know some people are really big into YouTube, and they'd rather sit in front or listen to it from there. I don't know why. Para X, be there live, man. That's the one that counts. But also, there's other shows that are really pretty sweet on Para X. You have The Gathering. And that's where Heidi and Steffi sit at the old metaphysical table. They do shots of tequila. Kidding about the tequila. It's mostly chocolate. And they talk about all sorts of metaphysical type things. And they have a great time. It's a great show. They've been around for a very long time. That's every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then on Sunday nights, there is the He Said, She Said, the Cryptid Show with Stephanie and Tommy Cooper, and they talk about, Bigfoot, crypto type things, and they kind of go at it, and I like that. That's pretty hilarious. But anyway, that's on Sunday nights, again, from 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, only on the one, the only Para X. Okay, so we are back, Heidi, and so now you have your own another show coming out, right?
Yep. Yeah, I actually just launched it today. I've been working on it since December. So yeah. And it's called, I know, bear with me here, My Spirit Experience Podcast.
Excellent. And where can they hear it live or?
Yeah, it's on all the normal podcast sites. It's on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Google. Let's see here. I'll have to go to my site to look up Stitcher, TuneIn. And I have 5 episodes already loaded, and it will be a weekly show. So I'll have 1 a week going forward from here, but 5 to kind of kick it off.
Nice.
Very nice. And now, when you now all this is on your website of myspiritexperience.com, correct?
Yep, I'm going to add a link there from the website, but it does have its own website, myspiritexperiencepodcast.com. So
Okay.
you can get to the links through that website as well. And that's
Awesome.
a website that people can get a hold of me if they have an idea for an episode, they want me to talk about a certain topic, then they can connect with me through that website, and that will go to the producer as well, so we can keep that in order with other episodes. And so myspiritexperiencepodcast.com. And if you go to, let's say, Spotify, you can search My Spirit Experience with Heidi Steffens, or you can just go to the website and click on the links to get to the podcast sites from there.
Excellent. Well, you guys are so busy because you both got The Gathering, then you have your podcast, and Steph does the He Said, She Said Cryptid show, where she's actually teams up with the Cryptovania TV guys, Tommy Cooper and Trost. Have you given that a listen yet, their show?
Mm-hmm. Yep, I did listen to it. It was a couple weeks ago, and yeah, it's pretty entertaining for sure.
Oh yeah, they've gotten some guests on there that make me shake my head a little bit, Squatch Man and stuff. Pretty nuts, but yeah, it's very entertaining, and that's the big thing right there, is that you can learn a lot from all these different shows. Like your guys' show, The Gathering, I listen to it religiously every Tuesday. I mean, I'm glued to this, which I thought was a comfortable couch, and it's not. Mm-hmm. Like right now, it's moving around a lot because it's not that comfortable. But anyway, so there is a lot of stuff on ParaX and otherwheres too and stuff. I can't wait to listen to your show. This is great. And you're on all this stuff? I mean, is there a central hub or something like that where you have everything sent to these, or do you have to program them?
That's on the technical side of things that thankfully I don't have anything to do with. I have people that are helping me set this up. So yeah, there's a central location that kind of pushes them out to those, but you have to set up the accounts and everything. And I don't know, it's crazy, but yeah, so it goes to all the normal podcast sites, which is nice because then I don't have to mess with that. I mean, once you
awesome.
Goes there, but yeah, it's nice that they're all on those main sites that people, like to go to for their other podcasts. So hopefully you'll check it out. Let me know what you think. And
most definitely. We will definitely check it out.
For the show, let me know.
Yeah. Of course. What is going to be your first show? I mean, what kind of stuff are you going to be talking about?
Well, like I said, the first 5 are already up there. And so...
wow. When did this start then?
I launched it today, but I didn't want to have just one straggler little episode sitting up there. I thought that looked too sad. So before I launched it, I wanted to have a bunch of them to put up there just to let people know that this is a thing and it's going to continue, because I don't know if you guys go on podcasts or check it out, but sometimes you find a podcast and you're like, oh, that looks really cool, and you click on it and there's one. And you're like, well, is it just starting, or is it the only one, or did they stop, or what happened? So I want it to have some legs before people think, oh, it's just one. Is it ever going to come back? So I have the first 5 already posted, plus a little intro of myself.
Gotcha. Now, did you have a Facebook thing set up for it too?
Yes.
Or no?
I have a Facebook and an Instagram account set up for My Spirit Experience podcast as well.
Okay, excellent. Twitter? Are you guys going to do some tweeting?
I haven't gotten the Twitter thing yet going. I really know I need to, but Twitter makes me Twitter. Right? Like, I don't do Twitter for myself.
Me too. I'm the same way. I can't do it either. It's just it's aggravating.
I've been trying. I really can't understand Instagram that well. Twitter I'm trying, but Instagram seems to be a little bit more type of a thing.
I'll get there. I'll get there eventually.
Gotcha. Okay, so go ahead, Kimberly. I took the first half too much.
So I noticed that all your, like, you have the Master Reiki instructor. She's ordained shamanic minister. She's also the organizer of MPRS, which is Minnesota Paranormal Research Society. I mean, how do you do all this, Heidi? It's amazing.
There's actually 4 of me. So
probably is.
That's what makes it happen. Otherwise,
well, now
no.
there's probably 6 of you because now you have a podcast show.
I actually cloned myself. Yeah,
I know, right? And she also has she's also been on Paranormal Survivor, which I've watched some of your shows on that too as well. Cool. So pretty amazing stuff. So yeah. So, and what I wanted to ask you was, how did you become ordained shamanic minister? How did that come about?
Mm-hmm. So the ordainment, I have been a shamanic minister since I think 2014. And okay. I went to school through Venus Rising University, which is based in North Carolina. And through some of their programs, I was able to receive an ordainment. And nice. That was through the priestess process that I went through, again, years ago. And it's also where I received my bachelor's and then my master's degree is through that university. So it was an option for me to become ordained, which I did because I felt it held me to a higher standard of just this work. You know, right. when you know you're ordained, I think, and this is an ordainment that you don't get it on the internet. This is something that lasts forever. It's right. not something that you apply for and then it goes away and you pay a fee and you get another one. It's lifelong. And so it really does, it's an honor to have the opportunity to become ordained because I feel like it just deepens my connection with my work.
Absolutely.
And it was a process of self-work to achieve that, or to go through that process. You know, you really have to do a lot of self-work and self-study to move through that process. And so it was really important for me to do that because it was quite an amazing journey, and you come out stronger on the other end of it, which when you're working with people through those channels as an ordained minister, a lot of those the situations that people find themselves in are very much a struggle. And so when you've gone through something that is a struggle and it's really dark and deep, you understand that and you're willing and able to hold space for someone as they go through their deep, dark struggles. And so I'm grateful that I did that.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. Jerry?
Oh, no, I'm just listening. You've got so much going on, and it's, my gosh, you carry a wagon with you instead of a briefcase?
Yeah.
Pretty much. Everybody make way for the little red wagon. So with all this stuff, if you had to give up one thing, what would it be?
If I had to give up out of what?
Out of everything that you're doing. But then all of a sudden, all the time is being taken, and you had to give up one thing. What's one thing that you would give up?
Would be. Well, I've probably already taken stuff off my website that I don't do anymore, so I already gave up a bunch of stuff, so I don't think I have anything left. I used to do, I'll say I used to, because one of the things that I've taken off over the last year is tarot parties. As much as I love doing them and I had tons of fun doing them, I didn't have the time to go to people's homes and, sit with a group of people to do tarot parties. So, and I haven't done them for years now, but I took it off my website recently because I thought, well, I don't really want to do those anymore. As fun as they were awesome, but I don't have the time for them. So it was recent, so I think that still counts.
Right. Yeah, well, that's true. That's true. And, now that, at Steph's show, they always towards the end, but I'm going to ask it to you now. You have seen the Giblin film.
Yep.
Okay. What do you think of it? Do you think it's real or do you think it's not?
It's hard to, I'll say it's real. It's hard for something that stood the test of time like that to be fake, with so much controversy and discussion and focus on it. if it was fake, I think it would have been gone a long time ago or completely discredited. So I think there's something to it. I don't know what to think of it. I don't know. I just think that there is something to it because I don't know that it would have stood the test of time like it has if it was an absolute fake. So it's hard to, I believe that a lot of people believe it's absolutely real. I'm still in that place where I don't know, but I do find it very interesting because I don't know how it could have stayed around as long as it has if it was an absolute fake and people knew that. You know what I mean?
Right. Kimberly, what do you think about it?
Oh, I've always thought it was real since I was a kid, since I've seen it. So I've always thought because, I mean, I lived in that area back in the day. So, I mean, when just to even know that something that close could be like that, when I was a kid, I was like, oh, you know, like holy buckets, you know, but that's my opinion. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to, you guys know I'm that jerk. But, you know, when I was a kid, when I seen Creature from the Black Lagoon, I thought it was real.
Really?
You know, I did. When I was a kid, I thought it was real. You know, but it's weird is that when it came out in the 4K colorized, look at it again. Look at the butt, look at the legs, and you tell me what animal would ever walk with a leg or a butt moving like that. And then you're going to go, yeah, it's Creature from the Black Lagoon, you know, type of thing. I don't know. I just, a lot of people think it's real. I just really don't. But anyhow, so there goes that. Okay, I know we're kind of all over the board and everything. That's the kind of way I like to have the show and then go back and everything. So now you had already given up one thing, which is the tarot reading. And I remember when
Not tarot readings, tarot parties. I still do tarot readings all the time. Yep.
Okay. I was just going to say, I thought it wasn't that long ago where you were doing a tarot reading and you did it for someone. Gosh, why am I thinking that? I don't know. Go ahead, Kimberly. You got your finger up.
So what I want to ask now too, Heidi, is when did you start with the Minnesota Paranormal Research Team? How did that come about?
So it was 2008, and I was doing some other spiritual work and just my own journey, basically. I'd been on for a couple years, well, more than that, and I had been doing spiritual work and intuitive, you know, information for people for a lot longer than that, 10 years before that maybe, or maybe even longer than that. So, but I was getting to the point where I wanted to be a lot more public with it, just not hiding. And so I wanted to, you know, the TV shows have been out and I wanted to, you know, check it out and thought, oh, this might be a different version of the spiritual nature of, you know, and maybe they have that equipment that could prove what I see and, you know, all that stuff. So I ended up finding the Minnesota Paranormal Research Society, which was one of the few groups that wasn't closed. A lot of groups that are in Twin Cities, which are amazing, and I love them all, and I'm super good friends with a lot of people in them.
Yeah.
But they're closed groups, understandable, because that's the nature of most of the groups. And I wanted to join a group, and so I found this one that was actually through a meetup on meetup.com, and so I thought, oh, that's kind of cool. And so I ended up joining, and there was like 6 people in the group. You know, it was really small. It had just started like the month before, and I ended up going to one of the meetups, I don't know, like 4 or 5 months in. I don't think I went right away because I was kind of chicken. And it was a really cool group of people. And they, when I told them about being able to see inside houses and buildings without going in there, that got their attention. And I didn't know what it was at the time, but then they, you know, informed me that that's remote viewing. And how cool would that be to have that, you know, a person like me on the team for paranormal investigations, because they could get an inside peek into it before they go there.
Right.
Like, oh, okay, great, whatever. And so, yeah, that was 2008, and I have started, started co-organizing it, I think, a year later. I'd been on a lot of investigations, co-organized with the organizer after about a year, and then ended up taking over as the organizer when the gal that was running it moved out of state. And so she asked if I would take it over, and I did. And I don't know how long ago that was. That was probably 2012. And so I've been running it ever since. We've got over 2,000 members now. And
wow.
Yeah, it's super awesome. Yeah. It's really cool because it brings people together to talk about the paranormal no matter
Right.
what viewpoint you have.
Exactly.
And it's open-minded. Everybody, we can say we can come from different places on it. And as long as you're open-minded, cool. And so
Right.
people in other paranormal groups come to the meetup, and just listen to stories or whatever. And people have started paranormal groups from this group. They meet
Right.
people that they like and they hang out with, and they start their own paranormal groups. And it's like, oh, that's so cool. So, yeah, it's been really amazing. And it was how I was able to learn more of the, equipment side and
Right.
investigation side, which I've done a lot of since then.
Nice. Nice. And
Yeah,
of course, you guys have amazing stories. I do follow, and you guys have a lot of amazing stories and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
we're
So, yeah.
still investigating. Yep.
Yep, you are. You are. So, yeah. Okay, go, Jerry. Sorry, Jerry. I'm taking up the show.
No, you go for it. I took over the first half. So now that you don't have, do you still have people like, calling up and wanting to come to your studio and like in masks and gloves and everything? I mean, because I know that you've really touched a lot of people's lives, and there's got to be some that don't have internet or anything like that. What do you do for them? What can you do for them? I mean, just over the phone, kind of talk with them and stuff?
When you said masks and gloves for a minute, I went back to Halloween. I'm like, you mean they want to come in costumes? Like, what are you talking about? I'm like, oh, got it. You mean right now with this whole pandemic? Got it. Okay.
Right.
I always go to Halloween. That's like my thing. So you talk about masks and gloves or whatever, I'm probably going to think it's a Halloween costume. Yeah, there's definitely people that want to connect in person. And like I said before, that a lot of people are struggling right now. And so, but we can still connect, if they don't have the internet, most people have a phone. And, I've had people write me letters, though, and I'll write a letter back. That's totally cool. Some people don't want to connect over any kind of, anything that Big Brother could be watching or listening or whatever, and that's fine. Then we'll snail mail it. Let's do it. But I'm happy to reach out and work with people who are hurting right now, and a lot of people are. So I've even, I just start sending little texts to people or emails, just how you doing? Are you okay? I'm praying for you or whatever, just to let them know that they're not alone and we're going to get through this.
So you've seen it's been elevated lately, hasn't it? Like people's experiences, because not only are they home and closed, I mean, they're probably in haunted houses now and there's trapped somewhat, do you see it elevating in that point?
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of experiences, and I've had a few people reach out just, that I've done home clearings for, and now they're going, oh my gosh, I need you to come back. It just got, tripped up again or whatever. And it's like, this is a time where we're not coming to people's houses. I mean, I hate to say it, but I have a lot of homes on hold right now that I've been sending healing to and sending protections to and trying, to help them remotely. But, some of this, when it hits during these times, there's a reason for it too. That this is something that some people, they need to work through themselves, because it's not always about someone coming in and rescuing them or saving them or doing the work for them. And that's one of the reasons I have a video out there that I teach people how to do home clearings and things like that, because I'm like, learn how to do it. I want you to take ownership for your house. I want you to feel empowered to be able to do this yourself.
Exactly.
So don't call me and hire me to come out, and then you have to do that again when something else happens. I'd rather teach people how to do it. And so I put a video out on YouTube that is free. I'm like, hey, here, I'm going to show you how to do it. And for 99% of what's out there, this works really well. So, because I want to empower people to be able to do this themselves. And so when something happens in a time like this where people are isolated, they're closed off, they can't connect the way we used to, it's like, hey, we're being asked to refigure how this works. We're being asked to, in the shamanic terms, we're asked to go through a death and rebirth cycle. We're dying to the old ways, the ways that aren't going to work forever, that aren't going to work going forward or not going to work right now. And we're rebirthing into a new process, a new world, a new way. And that can be a really good thing. Death and rebirth isn't always pretty. It's not always easy. But it's a process that we go through many times in our lives. And this is just a really big one that we're in right now as a collective, as a global network. We're all going through this at the same time, which makes it really, it's really uncertain. and it can be really scary. And that's why it's super important to reach out and ask for help if you are struggling, if you are not doing well, if you're not feeling right, you're feeling lonely or isolated. Reach out to someone that you can connect with, that you can talk to, or just know that you're not alone, because it's really it's a really challenging time for people.
It is. Well
said, well put, very good. That's awesome. Wow, we're down to 4 minutes left. And so, again, everybody, if you want to get a hold of Heidi, if you need Heidi's help or guidance, best thing to do is to go to myspiritexperience.com and take a look there. Send her an email. She gets back to you right away. That I know. Don't try to call her if you're me, because she never calls me back. But no, I'm kidding.
I don't call anybody back here. I mean, I will, but I'll talk to you on the phone, but let's email first so we can get the time figured out.
Exactly. But no, you're the real deal. There's only 3 people I can say that about, and you are the real deal. And I really appreciate everything that you've helped me with many times. The last serious conversation we had, I kind of had a breakdown, and now looking back at everything we talked about, I feel much better about everything. So I appreciate that very much. I know a lot of people do. And I'm glad you're not like some of these teams out there that are actually going out to people's homes right now. They shouldn't be. It's time to shut down. Help them by talking to them, email, whatever. But right now is not the time. If a person is wanting to go out and do that, they're endangering not themselves and their family, but they're endangering the clients, their family, and the extended. One person can meet one family. Next thing you know, they all go out, and you've got hundreds of people that they've had in contact with. So you really kind of watch out for that kind of stuff. Let's see. Anything in the thing here? Anything in the chat room?
I think they're all just hanging on our every word.
No, there's quite a few people in there, though.
Yeah, there's a few people in there. Rocky must have took a nap, and now all of a sudden he's back again. Thanks, Rock. But anyway, so we're down to a minute left, and this was a really great time. Thank you so much, Heidi, for being on. We really appreciate it. And now you guys know everything that Heidi's got in the works, and make sure that you join.
Go to her website. It's really good.
Exactly.
Really good. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Also, too, I want to thank everybody for the last 8 years. You guys have come on listening to The Calling, and tonight is the last show. And we appreciate all you guys coming out and listening to us all over the years and everything. And thank you, Kimberly. It's been a slice of heaven. And Para X, you're the bomb. Everybody stay tuned for Geeks Paranormal, and we'll see you all next week. Have a good night, everybody.